Hi, so this is a Pinkerella hydrangea right here, and it's a smooth hydrangea, which means it blooms on new wood, so I can cut it all the way down if I want to. Take a look at the stems. You can see that there are new buds forming already. These are leaf buds. And there's another one, so I just want to be sure that wherever I cut on each stem, that it's at least above one viable bud. If I look closer at the stem and go down, you can see there are 3 separate stems coming from one, but at the bottom right here there's a leaf bud that's facing outward, so I'm just going to refresh this plant and cut above that bud. Now the new growth will be coming out away from the plant, and even though I cut this entire stem, it's still going to grow in and flower. This stem looks like it is dead all the way down to here, so I'm going to cut above that. And you can see where I cut that it's nice and fresh right there, nice and green. If you look lower on the stem, there is another bud that's facing inward and one that's facing outward, so I could just cut there since this one is only facing inward, so I'll recut. There we go, and now this will grow out from the center of the plant. It has this little dead piece right there. I'm just going to cut that off too. So I'm just going to continue doing that, cutting above the lowest node. Looks right here like it actually spread. Cutting off any inward-facing branches. Some crazy birds out here. This whole branch is dead, actually, I think. What I'm doing right here is just looking up and down the stem. I usually start at the tip of the stem and then try to find a strong set of buds. And if I'm just deadheading or pruning, I'll cut above a higher set, but if I want to refresh the plant, then I'll cut as low as I want. You can cut as low or high as you want, but all of these are pretty thin and they have been for a couple years, so I'm going to take it as low as I can, as long as there's a bud. And it's really good to wait until you see some good strong buds growing in before you start chopping away. Like, see how thin and fragile this stem is? There are some buds right here. There's a bud here that's a little bit stronger. But lower down there might be some better ones. There's one right there. That's a different branch. I don't see any buds lower down. Oh, there's one right here, but it's facing inward. There's one here underneath, but it's also facing inward, so there isn't one right here though. It's a tough one. Down here there is a bud going inward and then a broken, I can't tell if that's a bud or not, but I might just cut all the way down here. There you go, hopefully it'll grow in some stronger branches. Here's another stem with branches that are branching off, but there are some really strong buds down there. So I'm just going to take it all the way down to here. I'm going to recut this one since there's a bud right here. I'm going to cut above that. Pretty harsh. It's spring, but it's freezing right now. I'm definitely going back inside after this. It's a game of how low can you go. If you're scared to cut too low, just cut higher up. And then once you have most of the branches out of the way, you can take a look again and decide if you want to go a little lower. But you can't put a branch back. If you can't find an outward facing bud, you can just cut whichever way you want. It just will reduce the amount of flowers. If you cut off the stem completely, which you probably should do for the plant to be able to grow its best form, I guess. And so branches aren't rubbing against each other. That's why you want to pick branches that will grow out away from the plant. From the center of the plant. Anything dead can always come off any time of year. Alright, I think that's the most I'm going to do. It's so cold that I'm going to come back another day and check out my work and maybe make some adjustments. Maybe not. Yep, there it is. I made a lot of cuts and it's a lot smaller, but it could have been worse.